Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to come in here and share with you a motivational tip, if you will, on helping you how to stop beating yourself up. Now, I know that a lot of you are beating the hell out of yourself, and I know this personally working with my individual clients. I also know this not so personally through interacting with all of you on this channel as well as on other channel platforms and seeing what all of you tend to comment all of the time. And I see how much you're beating yourself up is involved in your comments. Now, I'm going to share with you two essentials in this tip, and I promise you, if you just stick to it and if you just start implementing that in your life, you're going to stop being punitive towards yourself. Yes, punitive is such a great word to describe what you're doing to yourself, which is really beating yourself up about many elements of gender transition, gender identity, gender explorations. Now, I know that a lot of you who are watching this are in different stages of your gender transition. Some of you are perhaps just in the early stages of exploring your gender identity. Maybe you're starting to feel a little sense of gender dysphoria, and so you're in that stage, you're really trying to figure out what your gender identity is. As a result, you may be beating yourself up for not being able to figure it out sooner, for not being able to know what your gender identity is. Maybe you're blaming and beating yourself up for not being able to share this with people around you. Now, there's another group of you who are watching this who are already going through gender transition. You're probably in the middle of gender transition, or maybe somewhere in between of gender transition. And you also tend to beat the hell out of yourself a lot of times, probably thinking that you should be further along, maybe you should have started sooner, maybe you should be doing some other things, maybe you should have been better equipped, better prepared. And then there's the other group of you who haven't even started gender transition, really want to start, know the gender transition is something that really can help you alleviate distress, and yet you're beating yourself up for not being able to do it. Maybe you're beating yourself up for not being able to make a doctor's appointment to discuss all the pros and cons. Maybe you're beating yourself up for not making a therapy appointment. Maybe you're beating yourself up for not coming out to your partners or to your family. Regardless where you're at in terms of your gender exploration and in terms of your gender journey, I guarantee you majority of you are beating yourself up. Beating ourselves up is something that's very common, and a lot of you tend to do it because, well, there's a part of you that feels that you should be further along. There's also part of you that feels that you should be doing more. Why? Because you really want this phase of your life to be over. I almost never meet people who so much enjoy the process, this phase of gender transition, that they will opt out to stay in this phase as long as possible. Oftentimes, people can't wait to get out of this phase. Why? Because you want to achieve congruency you want, and you want to move on and start living your life and start navigating your life, right? Nobody wants to be in this phase because this phase is no fun, let's be honest. This phase is very expensive, and this phase comes with a lot of losses, it comes with a lot of stressors, it comes with a lot of disappointments, it comes with a lot of things. On top of that, it also comes with a lot of amazing and wonderful things too. So, everybody wants to get out of this phase, and for that reason, a lot of you want to get through it as fast as possible, and this is where beating yourself up comes in. So beating yourself up is inevitable, and I just hear the language so often when I interact with all of you. I hear this in your language, I hear how punitive you all are, and I know that a lot of you are waking up in the morning, and the first thought that you have when you wake up is this: I should have done more yesterday, or I should have come out yesterday, or I should have made the doctor's appointments yesterday, or I should have. There's all this I should haves that you wake up with. And when you wake up with those I should have, you start thinking about and you start carrying that. Imagine that as a heavy backpack on your shoulder. You start carrying all of those things on top of your back, and that's heavy and it tends to weigh you down. So as a result, you then end up beating yourself up as a result of not doing enough. And when you beat yourself up, guess what happens? You don't end up doing things you really need to do. Because beating ourselves up is very analogous to feeding an inner golem. All of us have an inner golem in relationship to things we should be or we think we should be doing. An inner golem is this part of ourselves that has like a sense of, well, it's something that tends to hold us back. So every time that you are feel like you're not doing enough, and then you start really thinking and ruminating about it, and you start thinking even more about it, and you start feeding it negative thoughts. Imagine that you have this inner golem inside of you, and every time you think and you're being very punitive towards yourself, you're being really, really hard on yourself. And a lot of you are really hard on yourselves. What you're doing is that you're spoon feeding this food. Imagine your negative thoughts and all of the things you think about yourself and what you should have done. It's like analogies to food. So you're feeding this golem this food constantly. The more you feed the golem, the more you think this type of thoughts, the bigger your golem gets. The bigger and fatter and out of proportion your golem gets, guess what? The more food golem demands. The more food golem demands, the more you think negative thoughts. So this is a cycle of this punitive behavior. This is a cycle of the more you think of everything you didn't do, the longer it's going to take you, just to even do anything or to begin, because now it's that much more that weighting you down. Your golem is that much more fatter. So I want you to stop the cycle of self-feeding the golem. I want you to actually starve. Let's starve your golem to the point where it is so hungry and it is so skinny that it's not demanding any kind of self-punishment from you. So here's it's actually one tip. But it's composed of two things. And I really, really encourage for you to implement it. I really, really encourage for you to do it because it's going to really help you. So part one of this tip is this. Write this down. Literally take a pen and write this down. Every single day, you must do just the best that you can. Every single day, you must do just the best that you can. Just do the best that you can. It's as simple as that. Just the best that you can. Your best of what you can do today could be very, very small. Your best that you can do tomorrow could also be very, very small. The part two of this tip is the very best that you can do has to be, well, it doesn't have to be, it can be anything you want, but this is the list that it has to be. In the very list, it has to be so stupid, ridiculously small. In other words, set a step to be so tiny that it's laughable if you don't do it. You get me? I'll tell you why this is really important. It's really, really important. So first, I want you to realize every day you wake up, you need to remind yourself, I'm going to do the best I can. That's it. I'm going to do the best I can. Why is this important? Because you're getting yourself out of the cycle of self-punishing. Sorry, I have like a fly flank here. You're getting yourself out of a cycle of self-punishing yourself. Because you're giving yourself acknowledgement that, first of all, I can and I will. Second of all, all I have to do is do the best that I can. So that's number one. Number two, find the stupidest little things that you can do. Now, of course, if you're capable and you can do more or numerous of those things, go for it. The sky is your limit. But if you're really struggling and if you're really, really hard on yourself, start with a very small step. And it could be so, like I said, make it so stupid small it's laughable. Maybe for some of you, that very small, stupid step is I'm going to get out of the bed, I'm going to shower, I'm going to make myself breakfast, and I'm going to go to work. And in spite of the fact that I feel a tremendous amount of dysphoria, I'm going to be able to take care of those things because they're essential to my survival. Now, it may seem like you're not doing things related to your transition, but you absolutely are. I'll explain to you in a little bit why. Maybe for some of you, maybe your stupid little stepping goal could be, today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to keep up with my hormone regimen. And I'm going to make sure that I take my hormones. Maybe for others of you, it is, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get online and I'm going to research what is the closest electrologist next to me, and I'm going to call just one of them. Maybe for others, it could be, I'm going to wake up and today I'm going to come out at work. Your stupid, simple, tiny goal could be, and it's going to be different from somebody else's stupid, tiny goal. Why am I recommending for you to create stupid, I like to call them stupid because it makes me laugh. because they have to be so small that even if you're feeling really down, even if you're feeling like you absolutely can't, you should be able to do this little tiny thing, such as getting up, feeding yourself, taking care of yourself. So why is that important? Because you got in a cycle where you're feeding your golem. Remember, you fed golem, you're now in a cycle where you're feeding your golem, and golem is demanding much more negativity out of you. So you need to start adapting, and you need to start rebuilding habits. You need to start getting yourself habituated to doing little things. And the little things in this case, has to be so small that you're capable of doing it. And the reason why it's important, because before you know it, you're gonna get used to waking up, and instead of telling yourself, I should have done this yesterday, being so hard on yourself, being so hard on yourself, and telling yourself, I should have done it last month, I should have done so many things last year, why didn't I do all of those things? And the more you think about that, the golem gets fatter and you get more depressed. The more depressed you get, the more you want to abstain from doing things you need to do. And you continue to abstaining, and as a result, you continue to feel even more guilt for not doing anything. In this case, you wake up and you say, I'm just going to do the best I can today. And the best I can do today, let me think, what's the best I can do today? Okay, the best I can do today is call and make an appointment with the doctor. I'm just going to pick up my phone, call and make an appointment with the doctor. So you call and you make an appointment with the doctor. Tomorrow you wake up and you say, what's the best things that I can do today? What is the smallest things that I can do today? What's the best that I can do today for myself? Well, I can't make any more appointments today. I'm not feeling the way I did yesterday. But today, what I can do is I can just get up and I can take care of myself. Maybe I can go and exercise and keep my body afloat and keep my body preserved. So every day when you do little things, they start accumulating, and you get habituated to doing little things. Before you know it, you're out of a cycle of berating yourself. Now you're in a cycle of doing things for yourself. And the more you do these little tiny stupid things, before you know it, you'll be doing bigger things, because now you're primed, now you're ready, now your wheels are spinning, now you got a momentum, now you got traction. Have you ever thought about doing something and starting with those big goals? I'm going to write a book, I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to write 200 pages. How many of you have done this? Did you write those 200 pages? No. I know this because I've been wanting to write a book and I haven't written 200 pages. Why? Because it's too freaking much. It's a huge undertaking. But you know what I can do? I can wake up every day and write 50 words. Do you know how little 50 words are? I think 50 words are literally about 3 sentences. It's so stupid small that even on the days when I'm feeling shitty, I can write 2 or 3 sentences. Before you know it, by the end of a year, if you were to write 50 words a day, by the end of a year, you're going to have a book equivalent to Tolstoy, War and Peace. Think about that. So I want you to start thinking about how by the end of a year, all these little steps that seem so stupid are going to accumulate to something. So this is your tip for today. Instead of being so hard on yourself and beating yourself up, I want you to stop beating yourself up. And number one, remind yourself every single day, I'm going to do just the best that I can. Just the best today. I promise you, if you do the best you can, it'll be way better than not doing anything and feeding your golem. And number two, what is the stupidest, smallest thing I can do? And keep practicing. Sure, there's going to be days when things are going to, you're going to, you know that phrase, you're going to fall off the wagon. And you're not going to do your little stupid thing. Guess what? Get up and do it again. It's all about maintaining momentum. Learn, try to educate and teach yourself and habituate yourself how to maintain momentum. Why? Because I know, I guarantee you, and everybody who watches this, who've done this, know that the key to successful transition is consistency. It is consistency. Consistency of doing little things. And before you know it, you're out of transition and you're living your life. And that's what I want for you. So if you're watching this, comment below, let me know what are you doing when you're being really hard on yourself? What do you do when you continue to beating yourself up? What's your way out? Share the tips, share resources. Tell me, comment below and tell me today what is going to be the stupidest little smaller things that you can do that can start you up tomorrow. I can tell you that for me, one of the other things that I've been wanting to do apart from writing a book is I've been wanting to start interviewing partners of transgender people on my channel. I know that a lot of you have been really asking me for that, and I want to do that. So for me, tomorrow, my stupidest little goal will be maybe just to start creating an outline of people that I know that are in relationships that I can reach out and ask if they want to be interviewed. So that's how I'm going to hold myself accountable. So comment below, let me know, and share with everybody where you at, and share with everybody what worked for you in the past and what's going to work for you now. So do that, and I'll speak to you all next time. Bye.